I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be, what's good? It's the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe, Uncle Freezy, coming live and direct. What's good, party people in the place to be? Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. What's good? Let's get this thing started off right. Blue tears, orange tears, orange tears. Bim! Let's go. Let's go. What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah! Oh yeah! Scream! Let's go! Let's go. Let's go, y'all. What's good? It's good to see y'all, man. It's good to be with y'all. You know what I mean? It's been a busy week, personally. It's been a busy week. It's going to be, this week has just been nuts. So it's just been nuts, man. Something, hey, life come at you fast, man. That's all I'm going to say. What's good, y'all? What's good? I see y'all in the chat, man. Miss Geraldine, what's good? Jay Bookie, the closer, what's good? I see you. Tricky Nikki is in the building. Forbes Phil's in the building. What's good? Wacko. What's good? I see y'all. What's good with you? Chuck Allen is in the building. JJ, what's good? I love reading JJ comments, man. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, man. I love reading JJ comments. Like a few people are gonna have certain comments, like they're gonna say a certain thing, reiterate they feeling, they stance in their position. I kind of like JJ is funny. Almighty Finesse, what's good? What's good? I see you. Foy Trey, what's good? The gentrified intellect is in the building. What's good? Harlem Girl, D'Angelo, what's good? What's good with you? Nice is in the building. Robert Paul, what's good? L Train, I see you. I see you, L Train. What's good? What's good? I got something that I want to get to real quick, right? I'm going to do it out of order. I'm going to do it out of order for a reason, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I always miss it. I'm looking for tip-off. Where is tip-off? Tip-off starts with a T. That T capitalized? Yo, so it's the off season, and I am still decompressing from the regular season. I know the regular season was over a month ago. I understand that. I do. Some things happened last season that I'm still trying to get over, or trying to learn about, or trying to figure out? Right? Was last season a fluke season? Was last season a throwaway season? Am I correct in assuming that the Knicks are a playoff team that missed the playoffs, or am I delusional about this lottery team making the playoffs once and now returning back to their lottery status? This is a question that I posed to you before, right? Because I don't have a clear answer, right? All the Knicks are a playoff team that injuries derailed their season, so they missed the playoffs? Or is this a lottery team that got lucky in their playoff season, right? Got lucky in their playoff season, but are returning to form who they really are? Is this a lottery team that made the playoffs one season? Cinderella's clock struck 12, and the carriage turned back into a pumpkin. Or, so is it the Cinderella story, the clock strikes 12, right? Or is this Rocky, the guy, the team that was the club fighter, finally got his shot at the big time and proved he belonged? Is it Cinderella, or is it rising up back on the street? Dun, dun, for my end. Eye of the tiger. Is it Cinderella or Eye of the Tiger? From your comments, I think you guys believe that it's Cinderella. Right? Clock strikes 12. You go back to being, or the Knicks go back to being the stepsister that's doing all the cleaning. You don't deserve to be at the big dance. You don't deserve to be there. My thinking is we are Rocky, right? Middling, mediocre, get your shot at the big time. You don't win. Now remember, Rocky didn't win. Rocky didn't beat Apollo Creed, right? He didn't win. But he got there. He proved that heart can get you anywhere. Right? Enough heart can get you anywhere is what Rocky proved. And the we here, the Big 15 season, we proved that you can have a lack of talent as long as you have heart. Right? Pudge Nice, what's good? What's good with you? Hard Will is in the building. What's good? I'm going to say I'm going to stick to my guns, man. I think this is a playoff team that injuries derailed them and they missed the season. I think teams are lucky that we didn't play our young players earlier. Okay? This is my stance, and this is not a stance that I heard on other Knicks content creators, right? This is my stance. I think the Knicks are a playoff team that got knocked around due to internal beef, injuries, and some coaching missteps. Overall, do I think the Knicks are better than the 10th seed? Yes. Do I think the Knicks are better than the 9th seed? Yes. Do I think the Knicks are healthy, fully healthy with Obi and the young guys playing earlier, Miles McBride playing earlier, Jericho Sims playing earlier? Do I believe the Knicks are better than the team that made it as the 10th seed? Yes. Do I believe the Knicks are better than the team that made it in as the 9th seed? Yes. Do I believe the Knicks are better than the team that made the eighth that made it as the 8th seed? Yes. Right? If the Knicks could have stayed healthy, right? If the Knicks could have stayed healthy and Tom Thibodeau played the rookies and young players earlier, including the midseason edition of Cam Reddish, I think the Knicks could, at the very best, been. Now, hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. The Knicks could have and should have been the 7th seed. Anything 6th seed and higher, we are all kidding ourselves. The Knicks, this roster is not a 6th seed or higher, period. It's not. Right? This team never had the talent to be the 6th seed or higher, but 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Yes. Right? And so here's my thing. Here's my thing. And I know we will all dispute this because we all have different perspectives, right? We'll all have, like, say, hey, man, were the Knicks as good as Charlotte? Look at Charlotte. Charlotte didn't have as many injuries as the Knicks had. What if Charlotte's point guard had got hurt and was out for the season? Would Charlotte have made the playoffs? What if Atlanta's point guard got hurt and missed the entire season, or most of it for that matter? I think that's a valid question. Listen to what I ask you, chat. If Charlotte's point guard, whoever it is, had got hurt and missed the majority of the season, like say Kemba and Derrick Rose, say if Charlotte had a point guard issue, would they have been better than the Knicks? What if Atlanta had a point guard issue like the Knicks? Would they have been a better team than us? Yo, Eric Siriel, what's good? I ask you this saying, knowing full well that if the Knicks had a competent point guard, the Knicks with a competent point guard, are they as good as Cleveland? Chat, I'm asking you, the Knicks with a point guard, are they as good as Cleveland? I'm saying yes. I'm saying the Cleveland Cavaliers fully healthy, are they as good, are they better than the Knicks if the Knicks had a point guard? And I'm not even saying a dynamic point guard. I'm saying a able body. I'm asking you this question because if you remember, Cleveland was the number 2 seed in the East at the turn of the December calendar. Right? Towards the end of the season, Cleveland was falling down the ranking, dropping like flies. Here's one for you. The Chicago Bulls team that entered the playoffs, are they better than a New York Knicks team with a point guard? I'm saying no. And I know I sound like a homer, and maybe I wear this stuff too much. Maybe me walking around with this type of stuff every day of my life has clouded my judgment, but I'm here to tell you, I think the Knicks roster is a touch better than they performed. I think they underperformed. I think we didn't get the very best out of Alec Burks. We didn't. We did not get the very best out of Julius Randle. We did not get the very best out of RJ Barrett. Okay? We didn't play Quentin Grimes soon enough. We did not get anything. We did not get a juice squeeze out of Kemba Walker. Sub out Kemba Walker for Dennis Schroeder, and we won't even be having this conversation. We'd be probably talking about who we lost to in the first round of the playoffs. Paris Douglas says last year and next year doesn't matter. Last year and next year. Oh, okay. No. We going somewhere with this though. We going somewhere with this, right? So yeah. So we not. Yeah. We're going somewhere with this. We ain't talking about. We ain't just reminiscing on the past. We are going somewhere with this. So think about this. Think about this. In a one-game take-all, the Chicago Bulls that entered the playoffs and the New York Knicks with Emmanuel Quickley at point guard down the stretch. Who do you put your money on? The Chicago Bulls that entered the playoffs versus the New York Knicks with Emmanuel Quickley at point guard, Miles McBride is the backup. Who do you put your money on? Y'all saying Bulls. I like the Knicks. I like the Knicks in that one game winner takes all. I like the Knicks with Quickley, Obi, Grimes, RJ, Mitch, all those guys, as opposed to Ayo, Caruso, Patrick Williams, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic. So y'all are telling me that, and this is just me asking. This is me asking. Y'all are saying y'all like Ayo, Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Patrick Williams, Vucevic over Quickley, RJ, Grimes, Obi, maybe some Julius, Mitch. I take the Knicks. I take the Knicks. And Sherwood M, listen, I understand Chicago is one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. Right. The Knicks started 27th and he finished 11th. When Kemba was at point guard, the Knicks were 29th. With Kemba at point guard, the Knicks were 29th in the NBA in defense. Or I'm sorry, with Kemba and Fournier together. Well, I guess since Fournier played so many games, yeah. So what I'm getting at is this. The reason why I brought that up is this. Are the Knicks Cinderella, the lottery team, the traditional lottery team that made the playoffs once, and then they returned to who they normally are, right? Or are they a playoff team? Are they a club fighter like Rocky, a club fighter? Got paid $75, and by the time he paid the corner man, the insurance, the doctor, the venue, he went home with $10 after getting beat up for 10 rounds. All he went home with was $10. Are we that team that finally got our shot at an Apollo Creed type character, right? And now we've proven to everybody that we belong. Hey, salute, Ron. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Just let me finish. Let me get this thing off my chest. I've been thinking about this since like Sunday, right? And I've been wanting to holler at y'all, but this week has been busy, like with some personal stuff, man, and some other personal stuff. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So are we Cinderella or are we Rocky? And as I bounce this off people that I trust, like people on the inner circle, you know, for the most part, everybody's saying Cinderella. You know, you got lucky that one time. This one time you went and the world proved that you don't belong. And once they figured you out, you ain't been back. I get that part. I get that part. Right? So King Ribby says, where's the dog? He's probably somewhere eating a shoe. Yeah. Vinny. I love Vinny. He's probably somewhere leaving wet spots and eating a shoe. Slender Man says, if we get a player like Lance Stevenson, they will change our whole trajectory. Bruh, okay. So what I want to do is just real quick, right? I'm going to throw the link in the chat, right? And while I wait on that to load there, I'm going to say this. I think the Knicks are 2 players away from being a contender in the Eastern Conference. And I don't mean contender like Charlotte, 7-8 seed, 7-8 seed, 7-8 seed, 7. I'm talking about 3 seed. 2 players away. Right? I think the Knicks are a Benedict Mathurin and Malcolm Brogdon away from the second round of the playoffs. Right? I think the Knicks are a Benedict Mathurin and a Malcolm Brogdon away from being a 3rd or 4th seed. Oh, wait. Let me. I forgot. My bad, man. I forgot. I gotta get things in order, man. I'm so rusty. Wait a minute. Yo.
Yeah. What's going on, fellas? What's going on, G.I.? Been a long time.
Yeah, I just want to say I apologize for my absence. G.I. decided to start his own business. So I want to give it 4 solid months of no distraction, because startup is the hardest part, man. I've helped so many people start businesses and be independently financially secure. And at 50 years old, I was struggling. I was like, now's the time. And headed into 51, I'm here. So I'm just excited to see everybody. Let's talk some Knicks. I got some minute. I'm on lunchtime. Let's do it. I got some things to say, but I'm gonna wait for him to come. But man, May God bless and keep you. Anytime I see you, I just think of the Lord Jesus Christ and what he means to me. And I'm just, you are my brother in Christ. I just need you to know that.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Hey, we don't stand together, we gonna fall. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a lot of wickedness in this world, man. It's a lot of it, unfortunately.
Yesterday was unreal. God bless those families.
Oh man. You know, I'm gonna tell you all this, man. You know, things happen so much that you get pretty much desensitized. But yesterday it shook me. It shook me, and that's the first time I can honestly say out of all the stuff that I've been seeing happening throughout the course of history within the last maybe 5-10 years that I've been kind of numb. But yesterday it really shook me, man. I was just like, you know, it just really reaffirms the reason why my daughter ain't in public school. You know what I mean? She's homeschooled. And that was one of the decisions, man. My wife, she worked in the school system. And so we took my daughter out before she got to 4th grade. You know what I mean? Like, she saw every year it was getting worse. And I was like, you know what? Now's the time. And then, you know, things were going on in the school. Like, they had to actually shut down a half of the hallway because kids was having sex in the school, in elementary.
Yep.
Kids bringing drugs to school in elementary. You know what I mean? And we was like, it's time for her to come home. Yeah. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? Kids looking at stuff they ain't supposed to be looking at in the school. You know what I mean? Inappropriate stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stuff grown people supposed to be, you know, that do. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm getting at with that. So I was like, you know, you can't blame the teacher. Teacher can't see everything. You know, we was in school. Teachers didn't catch everything. You know what I mean? But I was like, you know what, man? Me and her both said it's time for her to come home, man. And my decision, this was part of the reason why, too. You know, we ain't had to worry about no school shootings when we was in school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, let me bring my guy here real quick.
Let's get it. Y'all be spitting with your flows, I'm just podcasting.
That's right.
On the air every day, I'm just podcasting. You don't know what that mean when I say I'm podcasting. I'm broadcasting these flows with the podcasting. Every day of my life, I'm just podcasting.
Right.
Share my dreams with you, me and I'm podcasting. You can see my vision through the podcasting. But don't forget J Boogie when I'm broadcasting. I'm podcasting, he's podcasting. I've been spitting this venom since Karate Flicks. When Mr. Sims was sharing nothing but the Knicks. I guess you know by now, I seen some tough years. Now I know the reason why Freezy got them blowing tears.
Yo.
Boogie.
Yo. What's good, boss?
What's going on, great brothers, great fathers, great sons, great grandkids, all y'all great men of honor, everybody in the chat. Salute to y'all, man. Blessings and blessings. Woo!
NICE.
What's good, brothers?
Very much, man.
Yeah, man.
I hear y'all talking about that situation. My fault, I didn't even mean to say little, because that's not little at all. That's a humongous situation, you know.
Yeah.
Y'all excuse me, mine crawling up on me. She waving at y'all. Yeah, mine is.
Hey, baby.
She stayed home with me today. No, ain't no going out today.
Nah.
And you know, my oldest one, she's a sergeant in the Air Force. I wish I could have her with me right now. But man, my condolences go out to them people out there. You know, it's just tough times situation for that. You know, you figure we supposed to be parenting and protecting and securing our home. And the way the world is today, we can't even go to church and get service and blessings, you know what I'm saying, and come home and feel good about that. And we can't even send our kids to school, you know what I'm saying, to get a proper education and come home so they could tell us how their day was, you know, because of what's going on, man. You know, I ain't gonna stake too much on that, man, but you know, it's sad, man.
Critical times hard to deal with, man.
It's sad, man.
Yeah, man. Chuck Allen and myself, we spoke to this briefly on Vibes and Stuff Live. That's in the mornings, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m.-ish or 8 a.m.-ish to 9 a.m.-ish. We spoke on that briefly about the sickness that's undiagnosed in this country that is emotional and mental illness. You know, people have the emotions out of order, and they mental health out of order, and they do things like this that are unreversible. You know what I mean? And the sad part is the culprits seem like they never get to be around to witness the destruction that they've caused. Right? And that's one of the sad things about it is things are left in shambles, man. I pray for those that are touched by this, that God may bring them peace in a time of disturbance, and the Holy Spirit is their comforter. Because man can offer words, but that's about it. Can't really comfort for those that have losses, and I know this for a fact because people were trying to comfort me when my little brother passed away from his illness, and I'm still not over it. Still, and probably won't ever get over it. Right? So with that on my heart, man, I say to those people, I don't know what it is that I can offer, but maybe something I say can guide you to the one that can comfort you. So
yeah, you're definitely close to the brokenhearted, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Hey, so Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says 2022-23 is young talent acquisition and training and tryouts. And 2023-2024 is the big draft picks and finished product. And 2024-2025 is title runs. So what do y'all think about that?
Repeat the question one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Well,
so Paris Duggar says, basically, for the next 2 years, we just acquiring talent, and 2025 is when we make the major push.
So Paris Duggar is being realistic. The fact of the matter is, you know, there's no rookie at 11. Unless I'm wrong, unless we get lucky and 10 other teams just miss it. There's no rookie at 11 that's coming in to change the culture of the team to make us a winning team overnight. In addition to that, we know who our coach is. So to think that even if we had the number 1 draft pick and we had a coach that turns the reins over to young players, he doesn't. I mean, your monologue was excellent, Freeze, because you said we're a better team if Sims, McBride, the big boy, if they play earlier in the season and get acclimated sooner rather than the end. Heck, use Obi. Get Obi if you get used the way he was used during the end of the season. Some of these things should have happened earlier, and you're right. We're a better team. We're not as predictable as Randall coming up ISO Randall, right? But I just don't think that one where we don't have the cap space. There's no big time free agents, so our increase, our improvement over the next couple of years, I agree with Paris, will be incremental.
You know what? I got to agree with that too. That it's basically a progression of steps, is what you look at in that super chat that he just sent. It's just a progression of steps, and what I like about it is you're not skipping steps. You know what I mean? I didn't see anything in that text just now that tells me, oh, next year we're gonna go through the young players and then we're gonna try to sign a big name player. I'm glad I didn't see that. You know what I mean? Just continue to build is what I'm seeing. Just continue to build. You can't build a house without a foundation. And every piece of that house plays a part to having a finished product. And that's what we have not done for so long. And we got to get to it, man. And I don't want to hear nobody talk about this New York and we can't rebuild and all that. That's foolish talk. Don't talk to me about, oh, we can't do it. OKC do. Because what them teams are doing, they're building their teams the way you're supposed to. And I'm going to reiterate that till the cows come home. You know what I mean? You cannot try to cheat steps to win championships. Are you going to pay for it? Look at the Lakers.
And not in a good way either.
They cheated, but now they are in a mess.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you something, Freeze, I thought about when you was talking. You know the reason why this team really took a step back? Is I thought about that when you was talking. You know, every year as a ball player, you're supposed to add more to your game than you had the year before. And these guys really didn't add to their game.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Our star player that signed a big contract, and I ain't trying to knock him, but I got to start with him because he was the man. You know what I mean? He didn't add nothing to his game.
Who you talking about, RJ?
When he run the MIP? Nothing.
Oh, you talking about
No,
Yeah.
he's talking about Randall.
Yeah, he didn't. You know exactly. He didn't add anything to his game coming back off of that season. I remember Kobe talking about that extensively. He said, as a player, you have to continually add to your game because guess what? Everybody looking at tape, and they're trying to see what they can do to stop you from doing what you do.
One more to that, Ron. He can't. The year of his contract year was the best shape of his life. Last beginning of the season, I'm hearing that he was in average shape at best. So the
I
bag
heard
changed.
that too.
The bag changed.
Mm-hmm. You know, and others. I mean, look at Alex Burks. I mean, a lot of them guys regressed, man. It was a perfect storm, and you know, it's well documented the guys that we brought here that shouldn't have been here. You know, on life support.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been their career in the twilight, fading stars, and that's another thing. We got to stay away from fading stars, man. Stop going after fading stars.
The only defense I would give to Alec Burke, and when I heard it in Freezy's monologue, is, do you think Alec Burke trained all off season? If he trains in the off season, but to be point guard, to take a man and make him point guard when you're offensively inefficient, man, he got set up for failure last year. In my defense,
And to your point on that, GI, this is how you knew that he was set up for failure, because the year before that, when we were struggling at the point guard position at the halfway mark, we went out and got Derrick Rose.
Yep.
Tom Thibodeau, he didn't start Alex Burks then. You know what I mean? He recognized, hey, I got to go get me a point guard. Why didn't you do it once these guys went down? I.e., you had them in house, you could have played them guys. You know what I mean? You decided to stick with this man for 50 games, and the season was gone. And that's another thing that rings to this thing too, man, is Tom does take a lot of the blame for this because, you know, you don't have to be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs for you to know that you ain't going to the playoffs. You don't have to do that. A blind man could see we weren't going to the playoffs. At that halfway point, that was the time he was supposed to, hey, I'm running with the young guys. I'm gonna sprinkle in the vets. I'm going to still play them, but they're not going to be getting a ton of minutes like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that was his major flaw. That's what killed the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unfortunately that I have to make up excuses for what's going on in my team. And that's what I've been doing. I don't know about anybody else, but me, I'm always looking forward to this and looking forward to that. Excuse for this, excuse for that. You know what I'm saying? And hiding and running away from the fact of what's going on with our team. You know, I don't told myself 23, you know, the big draft coming, 23 people will be free agents, the big crop of the league. Maybe 24, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to take off. But all those, what I be saying, be just excuses for the things that I already been through. You know, I can't say that it's not a player in this draft that can come in and fit and help this team, which it is. The problem is it'll be more easier for a player to come and get drafted to this team if the guys that's on this team are already doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? It's that much easier. Then you have a guy that can just come in and fit in and play with the fellas instead of having all the extra pressure on him. I'm supposed to be the one to help turn this around. No, you're supposed to be one to come help this continue to grow. But we need guys on this team already to be doing what they need to be doing. Every year they come in, make sure your game is polished. Upgrade your game. Change your game. Switch your game up. Advance your game. Do what it needs to be doing, you know, as far as when you enter that court. Somebody don't know or have an idea of what you get ready to do because they never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Need to work on their games and get their games up to par. And that goes for everybody that was on the roster last year. Everybody, man. From all the way from Leon Rose all the way to the guy, I can't think of his name, the dude that played with Villanova and won the championship. Everybody must up their game right now, man. I think y'all say it's the off season. No, it's the on season. You're supposed to be somewhere working out, practicing, getting your game up the park, finding your weak points. You know what I'm saying? Developing that. If you're not doing that, you're hindering the team. And I ask for the office, start getting rid of some of these guys that's in the somebody else that can come in and do what needs to be done instead of thinking that somebody's gonna come in and change the whole thing. No, bring somebody in that's supposed to help y'all guys get where y'all supposed to be, because y'all not getting there properly for your own selves, man. That's what needs to be doing, man.
Let me say this right quick. Let me say this right quick, and then I want to pass it to Nice so Nice can get in. J Boogie, listen. This is the thing. I agree with you, right? And I think we said it in a couple different in two different ways, right? Remember when I said I think the Knicks are 2 players away? I agree with exactly what you said. So when I said 2 players away, right? I mean, of course, you want an infusion of talent, right? But also you depend on the development of a Cam Reddish, thinking that he's gonna bring something to the table, and Obi Toppin is gonna bring something to the table. You bring in Malcolm Brogdon not to be the captain of the ship. I mean, not to be your star player, but to be a rock steady influence so that everybody else that's coming in can get better without the water being choppy, right? So you don't want RJ Barrett to come back in choppy water, Cam Reddish to come back in choppy water, Obi Toppin to come back in choppy water. You bring in a Malcolm Brogdon, right, to be the captain of a smooth journey, right? So that these guys, when they come in, they can show you what they got without having to do more than they're capable of doing at their time in their development. Because Obi's a young player. He'll be a 3rd-year player. And forget about his age. His age don't matter, right? His age don't people be talking about Obi age. That doesn't really matter. We want to talk about Obi as a 3rd-year NBA player. We want to talk about Cam Reddish as a 4th-year NBA player. RJ Barrett is a 4th-year NBA player. Emmanuel Quickly as a 3rd-year NBA player. Quentin Grimes is a 2nd-year player, right? This is what we want to do. No, like for instance, nobody doubts Miles McBride's NBA talent, right? But he's raw, right? But now the first stage of his development is out of the way. He's played a full NBA season, some minutes in Westchester. Now he can contribute to the 15-man roster full time, but not as a primary guy. You have a Malcolm Brogdon in that could be rock steady at the point, maybe 15 points, 6 assists, steady defense, a mentor for young guards that are behind him, the Emmanuel Quickly's, the Miles McBride. And then you infuse an athlete that is a mix between, and I'm telling you, people are saying that this draft is not deep. People are bugging. This draft is deep. It's just not as deep as last year, right? It's just like when you look at a pretty girl, right? Every woman is not going to be Miss Universe. But that don't mean the women in that Miss Universe pageant were not pretty, right? All 100 and something women that was on that stage were beautiful women. Only one can be Miss Universe. That don't mean those other 100 and something women that were on that stage were not beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I'm getting at is this. Last year's draft was super deep. It's an all-time draft. It was super deep. This year is a normal draft, right? But a normal draft after a spectacular draft is going to look like a weak draft in comparison because they came back to back, right? What I'm saying is, if the Knicks get a Benedict Mathurin, a 6'6" combo wing, basically guard, small forward, 3-2-3, whatever. He's got the athleticism and mentality of a Latrell Sprewell, and the shooting stroke of an Allen Houston type, right? If the Knicks get that type of player, would they pick, or a few spots ahead, wherever they get him, whether they pick at 11, whether they have to get him at 7, whatever. He is a franchise setter because you already have your requisite pieces in place. You already have the Brogdon in place that's going to steady this ship. And Quickly has proven that he can run a team. if you let him run the team, right? Miles McBride has proven he can guard any guard in the NBA. We saw him rip Chris Paul in a close game against Phoenix. You saw that with your own eyes. That's not cap. We don't make that stuff up. We saw him rip Chris Paul, right? So you add 2 players. That's all you need to get the boat back, or get the ship headed back in the right direction. Get us competitive. Get us out of the first round. Because you get a Mathurin, now you can get RJ back to benefiting, eating off his mismatches. RJ at the 2. You know what I'm saying? RJ at the 2. Bullying other 2 guards in the league, going to the free throw line 8 times a game. That's what we want. Right? We want RJ to be able to shoot the 3-pointer over shooting guards and not small forwards. And people are like, what's the difference? Well, you see the difference. The difference is 1 year he shot 40%. The other year he shot 30%. If you can't understand that difference, then you don't need to watch basketball. You need to go back and learn math. Because one small forward, he's shooting 10% lower from 3. When he's guarded by 2s, he's shooting 10% higher from 3. Right? 2 players. Now, here's the other thing I just want to say to you, J Boogie, and then I want to slide out of the way and let Nice get in. Right? Mitchell Robinson is gone. Ain't nothing we can do. Because what Mark Berman said on Nothing But Knicks on Sim's show, when the Pistons fell from 3 to 5, when the Pistons missed out on getting a big man, it all of a sudden put Mitch even higher on their pecking order of guys to get.
But you know, me personally, I don't need Mark Berman to tell me Mitch is gone. I knew he was gone 2 years ago when we had our business. You know what I'm saying? When you don't take care of your situations in-house at the appropriate time, this is what happens later on down the line. Right. You know what I'm saying? We should have been had that man hemmed up and taken care of, but we didn't. So now we're looking at like, oh, we losing Mitch. No, we ain't losing Mitch. We gave him away. That's why I've been saying the whole time, give me Mark Williams. I know Mitch is gone. And secondly, give me the boy out of Memphis, but Mark Williams first. I already know we need a big. I already know that. So, just real quick, I know D Nice want to go, but when you say we need two, that doesn't mean we need 2 players to come in. That also can mean that we need 2 players on this team to get their game up the par. RJ and Cam, they can take us to the playoffs and do what they need to do. But them guys got to do this. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to keep looking for other people, other wells, and all these other places when we got guys right here on this roster that ain't doing what they need to be doing and need to start putting it in gear.
Absolutely agree.
Hey, D Nice, it's on you, my brother. I mean.
Hey. I appreciate that at least you give your take. But before anything, hey, salute to everybody in the panel. Salute to everybody in the chat. You know I love you, Ron Cleveland, Jay Buggy, Eddie C, and Uncle Freezy. Thanks again for let us in the panel. But man, great mind things alike. Great mind things alike. The only thing I could say is that a day or two I saw like an interview with McBride. And McBride was saying that, oh yeah, we was in the gym, especially the rookie. So in other words, he's saying the rookies. He did mention Obi. And to tell you the truth, I don't give an F. If RJ wasn't there, if Julius Randle wasn't there, trade him. Because if they are not serious about bringing something into the team, at least investing and getting better every day, every night to show us something different next year or next season, I don't want them. I don't care what do you like. I want to be respectful, but at the same time, facts does not care about your feelings. I don't care about the 2025 because at the end of the day, what do you think? Other team is not doing it? We gotta fix something internally. And this season is beautiful. It's beautiful. If there's one team that we actually need to see is Boston. Last season, it was more of a disgrace for them, even though they made it or they did not made it. But at the same time, they started saying like Tatum name was thrown out there saying about a trade. Brown name was also thrown out there. mentioned about trade because they wasn't working with each other. We cannot be attached to players because what would happen? As much as we want to see somebody progress or be successful, anything could happen. Anything can happen. He could leave to another team on his own accord. He could be injured. And would never be the same. If you don't show any type of dedication that you want to show us on the floor that, hey, we are willing to put in the work, we are willing to show you why you guys really need us as a player, that's the only time that's going to change my mind that I really want to stay with him. But between RJ, if IQ wasn't there, trade him. And everybody already knows what I think about IQ. Hey, he's my favorite player. But at the same time, they gotta invest. They gotta invest in order to show us what is really happening with this team, because it has nothing to do with Dolan. It has nothing to do with the coach. It has nothing to do with only the players. It has everything to do with everybody, but mostly the players. Because, all right, the coach doesn't want to play you. I understand. But whenever he's playing you, what are you showing us? What are you showing us that is a good reason for him to play you? And I'll leave it there.
Okay. Eddie C, hey, let me read this for Paris Duggar real quick. Now that Obi broke through, he's going to be mega star. Eddie C, what you think about that, bro? How you been, man?
I've been good. How's everybody doing today? Mr.
What up,
Ron,
DC? What up?
Good to see you, Eddie.
Uncle Freezy. It's been
Basketball
a minute.
zombie, AKA.
Thank you. It's been a minute, man. I miss you guys. I want to come back and just say hello and kick it with you guys for a minute. I like the passion that D Nice has, when it comes to what he wants from his players. Obviously, it's something that we all want from our players. We all want them to be there. We all want them to keep working hard. But the reality of it is that it's just not like that all the time. I think I was listening earlier when there was a mention of Julius Randle not coming into shape like he had the year before on his contract deal, right? So, those are real things. Obviously, he was in the last year of his deal, and he came in the best shape of his life, and he had a phenomenal season last year. He got paid, and all of a sudden, it wasn't the same Randle. The workouts that he had, it wasn't the same Randle, and you can see that in the game last year. His shot wasn't falling. He wasn't getting back on defense. It was just a different type of player. So I agree in a lot of the things that D Nice is saying, man, that, we want our players to be there. But at the same time, you never know if they're doing their own thing somewhere else, right? Not necessarily in that court where these players were, but they can be somewhere else working out, somewhere else doing their thing, and not as we may perceive them just sitting on the couch not doing a thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to go as far as that to say they weren't doing anything or whatever the case may be. And to be honest, with the RJ situation, I really do not know if RJ is 100% healthy from his injury from the end of the season.
Well, he's supposed to be playing with Team Canada.
When is that, Ron? When are they supposed to be playing?
I don't know exactly when. I just saw the article that was popping up on my feed telling me that he's supposed to be playing with Team Canada.
Okay.
So that tells me he's healthy to even be committed.
I would love to see him because then I can gauge his play and see if he is really back to form, or if he wasn't able to work out because that injury was a little iffy at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? It was a little iffy. It was a little like they're just keeping him out. I wasn't sure, so I want to keep a close eye on RJ Barrett's progression and to see if he gets off to a lackluster start at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
I tell you this, for me, Eddie, with RJ, I got to see a major improvement on that free throw line.
Yes.
That is where it starts at with me, because games are won and lost right free throw line, man, and I can't stand watching a player.
He Bonnie Fifing it, bro. He Bonnie Fifing it. He walk around with a gun and no bullet. He gets to the free throw line all game long and don't hit free throws.
It's no good if you can't hit your free throws.
Right.
It's no good. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you that I gotta say this, man. I got to go ahead on the front office, man, because I saw something the other day that just made me sick.
Me too. I saw it.
You know exactly what I'm getting ready to say.
Yep.
What in the world are we hiring a Nike exec for? What in the world? I'm gonna say it again. Somebody please answer that in the chat.
Nice. Come on, Nice.
What
Nice got the
are
answer.
we hiring a Nike exec for? We don't have enough people in the front office. and then when I read the article, it said it's an out of the box thinking. Leon Rose is getting on my last nerves, man. I'm telling you, he been on my last nerves. But that move, I'm like, you guys to be kidding me. Now the Tim Hardaway move, I love that move. Maybe they can get Tim Hardaway to work with these point guards. That'll be a great move since he's a scout. But man, what are we hiring this Nike exec for, man? Somebody answer that question, man, before I go in.
Hey, Ron, you know what the funky thing is about this? Is they hired Tim Hardaway in January and didn't announce it. They hired him in January. He had been with the organization since January. And they didn't announce it. And the bizarre, the peculiar Chop Low was good. Chop Low, my half brother, y'all. Hey, but here's the thing. Tim Hardaway is going into the Hall of Fame in September, right? And the Knicks didn't announce any of this stuff. They didn't announce that he was hired by the organization. They didn't support him in the Hall of Fame thing, right? And so, at a bare minimum, because here's the thing. How we found out about Tim Hardaway is after the season, it got leaked. Right? How we found out about Gorsan Rosas is it was leaked. The Knicks never announced it. Or if they announced it, it was like low key. Like, yeah, Mitchell Robinson is out and we're so high going Rosas. You know what I'm saying? And so it makes me think, like, what are we doing? Is Dolan back to doing Dolan stuff just quietly?
I don't think that's a Dolan move, man. That smell like a Leon Rose move. Something that don't make any sense. And my man just said it in the chat. He said your boy's setting up stuff for when he go back to being the agent. And that sounds, when he said that, I was like, you know what? That could very well be the case. If somebody said something about for the high school players coming out next year. I don't care about the year after this one. We need to be worrying about what we're going to do right now to get better. How about get me some better players in here, man? How about holding your coach accountable? How about holding yourself accountable? One press conference at the beginning of the year, and then we don't hear from you again until the end of the season. $4.5 billion company. Come on, man. You go a Nike exec. Man, get out of here, man. When I saw that, I was so hot. Leon Rose is getting on my nerves, man. Y'all can put him on the plane. This is your captain speaking. I'm getting the gas in it. He keep on. He's going to be gone by the end of the season. My prediction.
When I hear somebody saying about an executive, either Nike, Adidas, or anything like that, it's telling you a lot. Like, to me, it's saying a big superstar is coming. No lie. And the only reason I'm saying this is because a superstar is going to get X amount of money. But whenever you have, let's say, an executive like a Nike or Adidas or something, they know the in and out. They know how much to get milk the F out of any type of money. And whenever, let's say, there is a superstar name and stuff, it's like the Knicks already put everything on the table, telling the player how much they're going to get. Nike executive is going to come in. But not only that, you also going to get this if we do it this way.
I can feel that. But hey, I ain't impressed with that, man. That ain't something I didn't even need to hear about that. That's the kind of stuff right there, Freezy, like you talking about stuff being leaked. Right. That's the kind of stuff you don't even need to put out there to your fan base. How about tell me where you stand with Mitchell Robinson contract? Talk about that. Don't talk to me about no Nike. Man, that man ain't putting on no uniform. I don't care about him.
Well, it makes sense if they didn't win after Mitchell Robinson, if they actually going for another center. And I believe Jay Boogie mentioned his name like 3 or 4 times, and he's up next year next season. He's up. So it's like we gonna be making moves. Hopefully everything is to me. I feel like everything is going according to plan, but at the same time, whichever play that we actually keep, they gotta show some type of improvement and that they want to play. It's not one of those that, well, the fan base is behind me, they care about me, so I'm just gonna give 50%. If you're gonna give me 50%, I just don't want to see you. As good as you playing that day, I don't want to see you. Because it's trickling down. I don't know if you guys are noticing it, but it's trickling down to everybody. Julius Randle, RJ, if you're not going to be 100%, if there was one thing that I used to love from RJ, and I did not see it this season, it was pretty much last season, is that it doesn't matter if he had an off game. He could have shot 20 and just make 1 or 2. But his defense, it was like, man, I know I'm not playing and the shots is not going in, but you're not going to outwork me on defense tonight.
Right. Okay.
I tell y'all this, man. Getting back to this draft stuff, man, the players. I tell you what, whoever get Johnny Bryant,
I'm going to hold you down like
whoever get Johnny Bryant, man, they're gonna get a ball player, man.
Johnny Bryant?
Yeah.
Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis.
Yeah, why is it Johnny? Yeah, Johnny.
Woo, you lost me just now.
We got Johnny Bryant.
He pulled one of Eddie C's name changes.
Yeah, man.
Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis, man.
Johnny Bryant.
I looked at that kid. Everything I see on that kid, man, he remind me a lot of
RJ Barrett.
No, not in the first iota. No way.
That's who he reminds. He reminds me of a shrunk. He reminds me Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. RJ Barrett.
I tell you what I like about him. I see anytime I see two-way potential on a player, man. The first thing I got to know is that you can guard. Yeah, I can go find me some shooters. Yeah, people who don't want to play no defense. You can find them.
Yeah,
but I need to know that you can guard somebody. That kid ain't gonna shy away from anything. And I'm excited. I heard we interviewed him, and they say he's raving about Tibbs. But I tell you what, him, Shadion Sharp, Ben Mathurin, looking at them three, whoever get them three dudes, man, they got one, man. They got one. And there was another cat I was looking at, Malachi. What's his last name?
Brandon.
But one thing I didn't like with him, he don't have left hand to save his life.
Yeah, he don't play no defense.
I saw him dunk with his left
don't
hand.
Play no defense.
I don't need another player that can't go.
But
left.
he has the measurables.
Yeah, he has the size. He's big.
He has the measurables because I believe his height was a little bit higher than what people thought, and I believe he has like a 6'10" wingspan. So he's around 6'5", 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. So he has the measurables to become a good defender. And Tom Thibodeau probably, if we're able to get Branham, Tom Thibodeau will probably use the same force that he did with Obi to get him to be better defensively. And we can probably see that, get better. But I'm glad that you touched the draft topic because that's basically one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Well, I have a question for you. Let me dip into your knowledge base then. You mind?
Right.
You mind?
Go ahead, shoot.
Okay. Is Dyson Daniels Malcolm Brogdon 2.0, just staying healthy?
I don't think so. Based on his handles, I don't think Dyson Daniels, and to be totally honest with you, I don't believe Dyson Daniels is going to be there for us. I don't believe Mathurin is going to be there for us.
Or Shadion Sharp.
Definitely Shadion Sharp.
At 11.
And I think
at
San
11.
Antonio gonna snatch Johnny Bryant because there's talk about San Antonio snatching.
Davis.
I keep calling the boy Bryant. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
I'm happy they snatch him. But go ahead, EC. I don't want to put no fuel on that yet.
I think I could see where you're getting at with the big guard defensive ability type player.
Sneaky passing.
I think Brogdon is a better shooter than Dyson Daniels is, and probably will ever be.
Okay.
But it's just a different. To me, they're just two different type of guards. You know, he's a secondary ball handler. But I do love his talent. I really do love his talent. I love his height. And on our team, he's a great fit on our team. Not so much on everybody else's team, but for the New York Knicks, he would be my number one, guy, because he plugs so much holes for us.
Right.
Playing with IQ, he can play with RJ Barrett.
Can play with Derrick Rose.
He could play with everybody on our team. He would be great for Obi Toppin.
Right.
And his defensive ability is the icing on the cake.
Almost elite for a prospect.
Yes, sir.
As elite as you can get for a prospect.
Yes, his defense, and he gets back on defense. When the team is in transition, he can guard down the court, block shot. He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. And I don't believe he should be there. He shouldn't be there when we pick at 11.
I got a question for you, Eddie. Because Freezy brought it up about Mitch. I saw a report about that 7'2" Filipino kid.
Casoto.
What's the deal on him? Because they're saying that the Knicks supposed to be bringing him in.
They brought him in already.
They bring in a lot of players. And it's not necessarily for drafting purposes. It could be undrafted players that they're looking at. I beg to differ when it comes to saying that the draft is, well, I believe the term that Freezy said that it was, since it's weaker than last year's, you can tend to say that it's a weak draft per se. But I think there's a lot of players, especially I think it's a very deep draft, especially when it comes to the second round.
Right.
In the second round, you can pick a lot of gems.
A lot of quality in this draft. A lot of quality.
Yes, there is a lot of quality in this draft. The thing is that the top end of the draft is not as good as last year's. Like the Mobleys and the all the players that were drafted last year, the Cunninghams, the Jalen Greens, they don't pop as much. But we're gonna get a good player at 11. And I think we're going to get a good player in the second round. And I'd even go as far to say that we can get an undrafted player who we can look at in the G League for a long time. But to go back to your Kai Soto thing, to me, I think he's just he comes from Filipino background, so he has a lot of following, a lot of fans. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of ups his visibility towards everybody else. You hear about him and you see the 7'2",
just
and
like Jalen Green. Remember, Jalen Green had the same thing last year with the Philippine background. Yeah.
Okay, so but to me, he's not ready to play ball right now in the NBA.
No.
And if we do get a Kai Soto on the team, I'm pretty sure it's going to be undrafted. I don't think we're going to be using our 42nd pick to take Kai Soto.
No, that's too early.
So to answer your question, it's like a YouTube thing, a YouTube phenomenon thing.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I didn't know who Kai Soto is. Sorry.
Yeah. 7'2" guy who can shoot the ball a little bit. He's playing overseas right now. But yeah, it's more of publicity than anything else at this point in time. Not to say that he won't become a great player, but
fan favorite instead of.
I was having shades of looking at Kristaps Porzingis tape when I first saw it. When I was looking at him.
Hey, Ron, you know who he'll remind you of, and this is for old school Knicks fans. He'll remind you of Lauren Woods.
Wow, I ain't heard that.
Lauren Woods?
Yeah, I remember
that. The big, tall, skinny kid we drafted out of Arizona had a little bit of a handle, had a little bit of a touch. Physicality kind of was his kryptonite. Had some skills, but couldn't thrive against average or above average NBA defenders. I think that's where Kai Soto is right now. If he adds,
was that Longwoods came out of Arizona.
Right. That was a long time ago, bro.
Was that?
I
don't know. Yeah.
So Chop, you probably had stubble, Chop. You was probably about 8 years old, so you probably had stubble stuff. But it was 7-2. Physicality is maybe one of his weaknesses, and getting off against above average talent is also maybe a weakness. Maybe he's a system player, but no, he
See, here's the thing.
For the Knicks.
This is the thing about the draft right here. This the difference between our organization and so many other organizations. Is this here? It don't matter what number you pick. We could be picking 15. It's not about the number you pick. It's about who you pick and when you pick. I'm gonna share this right here. I don't know how many people been watching the playoffs, but if you've been paying attention to the Miami Heat, until Larry came back, before Larry came back, they were starting Vincent and Stroud players. Won't even draft it. Came in and tried out and killed. So it's not about what player you want to get. It's about who you pick, when you pick, and can that player perform when you know what I'm saying, when he get here. That's what we need. The right picks and the people to perform at the right time, man. Because them two guys over there, they balling. They rookie.
Another thing to add to that point, and your coach allowing them guys to play. Because I heard Reggie Miller last night talk about it. Reggie Miller said one thing about Steve Kerr: if you got on a Golden State uniform, he's gonna play. He's gonna play.
I heard that too.
That's another thing when it comes to offense. And compared to all these other organizations, these other coaching staffs, they picking what fits inside their system. You know what I'm saying? See, like Johnny Davis to me is okay. He's a good ball player, but to me, he is not going to fit with this high pick and roll. And he coming from a college that's passing the ball 5, 6, 7 times. That's what Golden State does. That's what San Antonio does. That's why I figured San Antonio grabbed him because that's what Popovich like. Good ball players, role players, cutting and passing. We don't do that. And then the bad thing, we don't have guys that can beat you up the dribble unless they get a pick. So, that's why I want guys that can do multiple things. Now, that boy Dyson, I like that boy game. He got major handles. He can go by you, and he can launch on you. He can do a lot of things. But he don't up his stock so much that where he was at, he's going inside that top 10. And all these other guys are scared to get in the combine, that were scared to get in the combine and do some work or show some damage because they scared somebody might come in bones hollering and take their shine and everything. See, Dice ain't had to worry about that because he showed you what he did against grown men in the G League, dudes that is no longer in the NBA, dudes that's trying to fight to get back in the NBA. He showed you what he can do. So he didn't have to show up in the combine. But I want us to pick somebody that's gonna be hungry. That's not gonna just bark, gonna ready to bite. You know what I'm saying? Gonna have some type of attitude adjustment. I don't want it sweet, pretty. I just don't want that. Then you talk about, oh boy, he had a good interview with Tom. Yeah, he's trying to get to New York. It's written all over him. He's trying to get to New York. They're already broadcasting his brand new Taco Bell's commercial. He got a pink outfit on and everything. He's looking for the market. He figured he can get here and get marketed. So of course he have a great interview, but I need some dogs to come in here. And I ain't with the Tim Hardaway thing. That's a Miami thing, Miami Heat thing. I could have kept it in the Mecca. I could have went to the Bronx and called Rod Strickland and have him come. He got the most babies in the league. He don't develop the most point guards out here. So what are we doing going against the team that's against us? You know what I'm saying? His son ain't here no more. And I knew something because I used to see him towards the end of the season sitting up in the stands at games, man. I should have known something was going on. He's sitting at games for what? difference, Tim. And you
You
talking about
hide
the
the enemy, man. You hide the enemy, bug.
yeah, you hiding the enemy, man. He don't care nothing about it. He want to get a check. And for him to work out with the guards, that got to be included in whatever he signed for, because they didn't stipulate, say none of that. So that means he ain't even working with the guards. He just going on the road and scouting. You can have any one of us on these podcasts doing that, much as we cater to what's going on in college and everything. You just gonna have the enemy just go up in there, man. Come on, man. Get the chains off the door. The enemy is trying to get in the building. Code 1. You heard what Joe Clark said.
Oh yeah, lean on me.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man. You know who would have been another good fit, and he didn't have a great tenure with us with all of the media hoopla around him. But I can't discount what that guy was on the court for us, man. Stephon Marbury, man. I love.
We gotta repair that relationship.
I love Stephon Marbury, man. I ain't even fronting. I loved him when he was in Minnesota. I just wish we had him with us from the get-go. That boy's the truth, man.
I think with the deal with Stephon is he ain't. I mean, everybody can have a little bit more money, but I don't think he worried about that. He had such a great vision from after he started playing basketball that he's fine financially. You know what I'm saying? The Tim Hardaway situation, I kind of heard that, he was looking for work. You know what I'm saying? And the Knicks extended the hand a little bit, and that's why it wasn't really like a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what?
It wasn't like
that's why I would go after Stephon Marbury, because
we're gonna help you out a little bit.
Do it, Leon.
If Stephon Marbury said he wanted to be a scout or be on a coaching staff, I know it ain't about the money, because that man got paid when he was in China. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know if he wants that headache or.
Come on, the man got a statue in China. It's not about the money.
And I know he loved the Knicks. I know that much, because you felt the passion when we signed Leon Rose and them coming through them speakers. You know what I mean? And I know Stephon Marbury is getting them guys' butt.
Man, I know for a fact from sources in my area that I rock with that play in the league that got Kenny Smith, Mark Jackson, guys like that commentating that's from New York, don't even like hearing everybody picking on the city like that. They don't like it. They don't like answering the questions about us. We're not up to par and where we should be at. And this is some of the reasons why. You're going outside the box.
Too far.
Boogie, to your point, man, we got too many great players, man, from the city, man, that played in the league that ain't on this thing, man. And former players.
Where's God?
That ain't connected. You want Mitch to develop a game? Go call Pat.
I was just about to say that. We don't even have to go that far. We never gave Patrick Ewing a shot.
Pat will walk to the garden to help that young man. Come on, man. We got to do better, man. Stop going outside. That's the only thing I give Chippendale credit for, is he was trying to connect them guys with the players of the past. I give him credit on that only. Other than that, carry on, in the words of Kendrick Perkins.
Chop Low, it's good to see you.
Salute. If there's a player that I think is gonna drop, it's probably gonna be Johnny Davis.
Yeah.
I see him falling even down to Cleveland. He probably won't fall as far as past Cleveland, past Charlotte's 15, but I don't see him going to the Knicks if he's available.
No.
I'm more of a even though it's kind of redundant, but I was listening to some podcasts before and they were saying that we need to get more switchable, more today's game type players. We have a lot of players that fit into one position, like Julius Randle is a 4. We can't really play him at the 5. Obi Toppin is a 4. You can't really play him at the 5.
Quentin Grimes, you can't play Quentin Grimes at the point.
Stuff like that.
He's a straight up 2.
You need to get players who can defend every position. And there's a couple of players in this draft who mirror images of each other who do that. And that's Jeremy Sohan and Tyree Eason. Both are dogs and both can guard multiple positions. Even if we have Obi Toppin, you can still put Tyree at the 3 You can still do multiple things where these guys could get playing time, and we need to get that on our team because that's the one thing that we don't have. We don't have switchable defenders. We don't have players that can play multiple positions like that. And in today's game, is a plus, and you need that if you want to go far in the NBA.
Interchangeable lineups.
Right.
What you saying that I just don't understand, I just let people get, speak on what they speak on, but I just don't understand why is it that if we need these multiple type players, why they get mad and upset when the only person that we really had on our squad that can really go play the 1, 2, and the 3, was Burks. But we get mad when he gets taken away from being the 2 or the 3 and get plugged into being the 1 when we got injured players and he's playing really out of position from his strength and scoring and stuff like that. But we get mad and upset at Burks from last year. Burks probably the only person on our team last year that played for his contract last year. He was getting every game. When was the last time we seen Burks play almost a whole season? And he was looking from scoring from the beginning, but then we moved him from scoring. Same thing we did with him last year in the playoffs. When Rose couldn't go no more, put the ball in Burks' hand, take him away from scoring. Everybody ain't meant to, to be a point guard. But I'm glad he could at least attend to play. But we got so mad at that dude.
Yeah, the fact
For
it
$10
wasn't
million.
the fact that it was how they was using him no both. That was the thing. You know what I mean? Trying to run that man out as a starting point guard for 50 games when you had other options, man, that you could have went with. Heck,
When you could have signed Shooter or
saw it when RJ was running the point and Burks was playing off of RJ. The offense looked better. Of course, RJ ain't got no handles like that, but RJ got vision. And vision is something you can't teach.
But is that Burks' fault or the coach's fault?
That's the coach. That falls squarely on the coach. Improper utilization.
I think that's Leon's fault.
Improper utilization.
Yeah. It sounds like when they used to come
Jesse
to me
Jackson right there.
And right, the admin used to write me up. Admin would come write me up like, Uncle Freezy, what you do? Improper utilization. Y'all picking on me. Why y'all always come shaking me down? You know what I'm saying?
Lack of determination, without motivation, causing the frustration. Hey, man, you gonna stop bringing that Jesse Jackson?
Hey, Boogie. Yeah. Somebody in the New York area, man. Hey, go get Leon Rose up out of our office, man. I'm tired of the experiment. Doling your field once again. I'm sorry to tell you it, man. We're not winning the championship with Leon Rose. We're not. So why is he here? He ain't a part of the future, man. He got to go with Tom, man. And that's another thing we talk about. We're in a new age of basketball. We want players that can do multiple things, as Eddie C was talking about. You got to get a coach that's willing to change with the times. And Tom ain't changing. He ain't changing. I guarantee you, Worldwide West gonna be back up in that office talking to Dolan. He gonna run back up there. It's just a matter of time, man. The fuse is lit already. He already lit the fuse.
Hey, shout out to my Rangers, man. I'm going to game 5, man. You're handling their business. See, right there, you can run up on Dolan about anything because all he cares about is the hockey team right there. That's why they ran up on him with this Tim Hardaway and the Nike thing. Man, he just signed it. Y'all go ahead. Just get out my over here. Sign it. I got the Rangers who I'm rocking with right there. They ain't kidding about the basketball.
But know this, if it don't work out, you ain't getting another contract.
You ain't getting another
contract. Next season going to tell it all for this team, man. I hate to say it. A lot of these players is going to be gone because of the mistakes, not only of the front office, but of the coach, man. Next season, a lot of these players will be gone.
But at the same time, they not making it hard on the coach. And it's plain simple because just what I mentioned is that I understand that Coach Thibodeau, he doesn't be playing players that he should be playing. But whenever you do have the time to be on the floor, show us something special. Show us that there's a reason that he needs to keep on playing. We only saw a glimpse of it from IQ and Obi, and it was because they showed it at the last minute. It wasn't because of coach shit, but it was mainly because I'm just gonna say it like this: this whole team, with no exception, is a bunch of players that is very inconsistent. One day I see something special, another day I don't. I see garbage. So I'm seeing it like we don't have nothing special. As much, let's say there's RJ fan, there's Julius Randle, there's IQ, there's Obi. I don't see nothing special. When you have a superstar will always show it from a year or two. They don't need more than that. We only have a bunch of role players.
Nice. Obi making your man look bad right now. And I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, it's the end of the season and teams are tanking and all. Man, guys still playing for their contract, man. We bust a Miami team that looked pretty good, and we couldn't beat them. We couldn't figure out how to beat them with 2 squads, but we beat them with that last them young players, man. I'm telling y'all, Obi, they got it right after it looked like they got it wrong. Because I'm gonna tell you, I thought they botched the pick too. I'm gonna be full disclosure. I thought they botched that pick because everybody knew that we needed a point guard. And especially the fact that Obi could hardly get on the court in year 1. What I saw them last few weeks, I saw efficient basketball, and I saw a little bit of everything that the guy could do. The only thing I hated is that we didn't get a larger sample size of that throughout the whole season. That's what teed me off, is because I saw the fadeaway jump shot. I saw the pull up 2. I saw the 3-point shot falling at a good clip toward the end of the season. We already know he can skyrise with the best of them.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, the sky's the limit for the kid, man. And I even seen him in the post. Something a lot of people say Obi couldn't do. He couldn't post nobody up. I saw that. So, it's just a matter of opportunities, man. And Tibbs failed that young man. He really did, because here it is. We still trying to wonder what Obi's going to be in the whole season.
Yeah.
He failed him.
I actually think that he made him better, because he was a bad defender, really bad defender. And if Obi didn't go through that process of being benched, of being told, of being this, of being, whiplash kind of, like, he wouldn't be this Obi Toppin that we see today. He would probably just be a run and gun type of guy who just dunks all the time. You know what I'm saying? But now he has his game has expanded for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like
I give Tom that.
It's kind of like painting. You know, sometimes you see painters and they start the painting and you don't know what the hell they're doing. But at the end, when you see the finished product, you say, "Oh, now I see the vision." You know what I'm saying? So it came to time. I want to just point out also that I have no worries about the draft when it comes to the New York Knicks. I think whoever they pick, whoever's going to be there, even if we don't like them,
It's going to be the correct one.
I think it's going to be the correct one. I looked at last year's draft and how everybody was up in arms about last year's draft. I kind of dug it. I obviously wanted to wait and see what would happen, but they got the picks right. You know what I'm saying? They picked. You can't hit them all. Like I guess the one that we didn't get was the second round Herbert Jones, but it's like, yo, who can predict the future? You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to the end of the first round, they got the pick right, because if you look right above him and right below Quentin Grimes, he was the best player that played last year. You know what I'm saying?
You know, Eddie, I agree with you. Now, I'll say this. The drafting haven't been a problem. The Knicks have drafted well for a while.
Somebody got some echo going on.
Yeah, I'm getting echo off somebody. I'm echoing off somebody. Yeah, the draft, we didn't get that wrong. You know what I mean? Even before, Mitchell Robinson and RJ and them guys that was drafted before, we've done good in the draft. Where we have historically done wrong, and this front office was brought in, they wasn't brought in to draft. Let's just get that clear. These guys was brought in to get free agents. and so far they've failed. They've got fading stars. They've done what we've always done.
Yep.
And that's why we didn't make the playoffs. We depended on guys running on recaps.
Hey, before I channel in, Freezer, go ahead and read off Paris.
Just about to say that. Paris Duggan, thank you for the judge contribution. And Paris Duggan says Leon is doing the best job I ever seen.
Hey Paris Dugan, man, me and you beefing too, because I
I'm
told
glad I'm sitting down.
I told you the last time on the show, I need to see you up here, man. You know what I'm saying? You just knocking them people's heads off in chat like that all the time. Come up here, let me hear that, man. I need to hear that, man. Hey, I think last year in the draft, I think we panicked. I believe we had a plan to trade up, good as that stock was, but the trade up didn't go through. So when it got to us, it was players that we didn't want. And so I think they panicked and started trading backwards, you know what I'm saying? And it lucked up and got in our favor towards the end. I guess we can't say we got saved, but you know, when you want somebody on your team, man, just go get them by any means.
Yeah.
Go get them. Stop sitting around, because people are not sitting around and waiting, and they know they might be needing the same thing as you. That's why people going all the way in. You know what I'm saying? Miami don't care nothing about no draft picks. Forget those draft picks. Let me go get this guy who I want and put him on this team and put him up under this coach Eric Spoelstra, who I want in our front office. I've been saying that. Get up off that bench. Time to get in that office, you little Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Go steal from the enemy, humbug.
Yeah. They doing it all the way around the league. They stealing from
why not? The enemy stole from us.
Yeah.
Because you just mentioned Pat Riley.
Yeah.
The enemy just planted that double agent.
They steal Pat Riley from us, and we counterpunch and come back with Tim Hardaway.
If I will say this.
No, Boogie, we came with David Fisdale.
Yeah.
Was his lead assistant, remember? Oh God, I'm about to throw up, man.
I just want to say this: if we are pursuing after Donovan Mitchell, and it becomes a fact, and the end goal is to get Joker later in a year from now.
Thank you.
I do not care if you blow up this whole team. I do not care if IQ, if Obi, if RJ, if Julius Randle, if whoever you think is the last name, I don't care if he's also here. If they not here, so be it. When you have two superstars like that with those caliber stats as the Joker and Donovan Mitchell, anything clicking with those two.
Hey, D-Nice, you know that's my dream team, right? You know that
Boogie was calling that thing.
But you know something, Jay Boogie? That's why I pretty much like everybody in the panel, because we are not attached to players. If we do not like what we see, we are so trigger happy with saying get rid of it.
What that name sounds?
I'm gonna tell you, you know what? Donovan Mitchell get a lot of heat for that problem in Utah. But the problem ain't Donovan Mitchell, man. The problem is really Rudy Gobert. You got a guy on the outside in Donovan who can get it when he want it, against who he want, whenever he wants. And Rudy Gobert is limited. He is limited. He don't have an offensive game to speak of. And that's the real problem. So when you talk about a Donovan and the Joker together, man, you talk about an inside-out combo, and then the inside guy can pass better than most point guards in the league. That's a problem.
And you know they just lost the number one dude in their office in Denver.
But think about this, Jay Boogie and Ron Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell and Joker. We could tell from 5 years from now, they're going to keep on giving those same numbers. With the players that we have right now, everything is hope, and everything is, I wish that they could get to that level. It's not certain. It's not 100%. So why is people are so attached to players?
Well, I can tell you this: I ain't attached to no player. Progress, and if you're in the way of progress, you need to be detached from the team and put on the first thing smoking. I don't need players, to Jay Boogie's point, being comfortable. You should never be comfortable. Anytime a player get comfortable, translation for me, you feel like you're ready fed. I don't have to work on my game no more. I don't have to keep adding. I don't want them players here, man, because the league will figure you out, man. The tape don't lie. You know what I mean? The tape does not lie. And they got one for every player that play in the league.
To everybody in the panel and to everybody in the chat, who do you guys have right now in the Knicks team that is not valuable enough to trade for Donovan Mitchell and Joker?
I'm with you, Nice. I'll blow it up if I had to. I'll throw a nuclear bomb in it.
Blow it up. And I'm telling you, the way I see it is that this season is not it's not a misfortune. If we start looking at other teams, what are they doing? Man, we just gotta imitate them. We gotta adjust, because how, like, we all knew that Brown, he had something special and Tatum had something special, but they wasn't functioning as a team together, especially when they played them both. Man, I'm pretty sure that after the season was over for Boston last season, and they heard their name, oh, Tatum doesn't work well with Brown, he might get traded. Same thing goes for Brown. They made it happen. And you know,
sometimes the move you don't make is the best move, man. And I've been saying that Boston gonna win the championship. I hate saying it because I can't stand them, but I respect them. And they're gonna win it.
Yeah,
they're gonna win it.
But you know what was that fire for them to go, not only show what they was what they gave us, or what they gave the Boston Celtics fans, what level they could be at. The thing that actually pushed them to even become even greater was that fire behind them, because Celtics there wasn't waiting. If you're not going to show me something to keep you, get ready, because you're about to be out.
But you know what, though, Nice? You know what I think the biggest change for that team was?
Harper?
Two things.
Talk to me.
Sending Brad Stevens upstairs and bringing in Udoka as the coach. That was the biggest change for that team, and especially on the floor, because you see that offense looked different. That ain't the same offense that they was running with Brad Stevens. That thing got San Antonio written all over it.
I actually think that what they stopped doing was that experiment of putting Marcus Smart at the 2, and they just said, we're going to put you at the 1, and then that's what opened up everything else to flow the way it has been, because now you're putting a major defensive piece. He won Defensive Player of the Year at your point guard position, and then you just let everything else flow, because it was Kemba Walker this year, Kyrie Irving you know what I'm saying? Marcus Smart was always playing the 2, and that to me, I think that was the biggest change. And Al Horford obviously does help as a backbone.
I love Al. Big Al tough, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Marcus Smart playing that 1 position is, you always have to try to find their best players to play in their best positions. Playing players out of position is a recipe for disaster.
100%.
You hear that, Tom Thibodeau, that boy talking to you?
He's sleep right now.
With a pastrami sandwich on his lap.
Yo, whole bunch of mustard all over the shirt.
Man, I just hope when we come in the next season, man, that I see ball movement. If I see ball movement this season coming up, man, because I'm telling you, Golden State got something beautiful, man. Hot dog.
Well, Ron, you know what?
Ball movement and players cutting. Nobody just relax.
You got to get rid of Randall. In order for you to get what you want, you
can't
have Randall.
I agree.
And there ain't no way you can have RJ and Randall and expect ball movement.
Yeah, it ain't happening. Two of them.
RJ's a ball stopper too now. RJ Barrett.
RJ's a ball stopper too.
Right, but when you put both of them on the floor at the same time, your drain clogged up.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
I want to see three things.
That's where the
Ball-
stretch center. That's where the stretch center is so important on this team, because then the 5-man opens up the lane for the power forward and the guard and the wing. You know what I'm saying? Then you can still have your Fournier at the 2. You can still have whoever's playing at the 1. But if your 5-man is out the way and he's spotting up for 3, your offense is gonna flow so much better. So you have to choose. You either keep both those guys, but you got to get a stretch 5, or you get one of them out of there and you keep a big man. It's one or the other. You can't have them both.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's more detrimental with both of them guys, more so than everybody like to talk about Obi and Randall together. At least Obi's willing to pass the ball and move and cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? RJ to Freeze's point, he's a mini Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Right.
But the difference is he can finish with his right hand, and Julius ain't got a right hand to save his life.
Right. Hey, so just want to read Paris Douglas super chat just real quick. Paris Douglas says, panelists show a lack of b-ball knowledge. If you judge rookies' ups and downs, most young players, including Kobe, were erratic as rookies. Get right why as a family. I understand what you're saying, Paris, but listen. Here's the thing. The ups and downs are not the same. Kobe Bryant's ups were historic ups.
Mm-hmm.
His downs were experienced downs, right? Like he was young and he had to learn, right? But Kobe's ups were Jordan-esque as a first and second year player. So you knew Kobe was going to be special.
Yeah.
Right? When you look at Grimes, Quentin Grimes don't have Jordan-esque ups. Like Quentin Grimes is not going to come out and get you a 47-point game with 40 points at the rim. Quentin Grimes ain't going to give you that. Kobe could, even as an 18, 19-year-old, could explode for 30 on any given night against any defense, or against any team, on the road or at home. It didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Grimes ain't gonna give you that. Quentin Grimes is not Kobe-esque. You know what I'm saying? So what we're saying is, while I agree with what you're saying about giving the players time, what I disagree with is saying that say for instance, a rookie Jericho Sims and a rookie Shaquille O'Neal look similar. They just need time. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. A rookie Shaquille O'Neal is you know it when you see it.
He had something you couldn't teach.
Right.
Power.
Right.
Unlimited.
That's the direction that we're going with. We're not saying that you're absolutely wrong because you're right. You can't judge. Young players not from 1 month to the next. You can't even judge them from one game to the next because they have their ups and downs. So we agreed there.
Yeah.
But the ups are way different, right? And the downs are usually a lack of experience and not a lack of talent. Like Quentin Grimes is not going to the hole and dunking in the crowd. That ain't happening. But can he play defense? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Quentin Grimes.
Defense and shoot.
Quentin Grimes ain't going off for 45 against the Miami Heat. But can he knock down a 3? Yes. So I kind of agree, but I kind of don't. It's just from our perspective, is old heads. Like, so we're old heads, right? Because nobody in the video chat right now is 25, 26 years old. Most of us are at 30 or older.
The other D nice is the shave one, the shave one. Not the full beard one.
Yeah, man.
But fans, when I think about it, man, that's why I look at this team, when we look at players and projections, like what player on this team really got that high of a ceiling? And to me, I think the person I look at is two people. It's Cam Reddish and Obi. Those two guys' potential can be beautiful if they reach it. Everybody else, to me, I think RJ is really at his ceiling, man. I hate to say it. It is what it is. I think he's at his ceiling. The only thing he can improve on, I think, is free throw shooting,
free throws,
and getting a mid-range jump shot consistently. That's it. He ain't gonna jump no higher.
Right.
Finishing at the basket, it is what it is. RJ game, and there's no knock on RJ because I think he's very good, and I like the way he plays. I like his attitude and effort, and I know I ain't gonna have to ever worry about come down to the precinct because we got your man down here. You ain't gonna hear that with RJ.
Right.
You know what
right.
I mean?
But still in all, with those two things, with RJ, that lifts his game. And when that lift his game, that'll lift the team too. If he come back this year with just those two things, you know what I'm saying? That's great. That's great improvement. You know, and when Freezy was talking about Grimes, I just want to share a little bit because y'all know I'm a Jayhawk.
Yeah,
Ron,
don't rub that in.
Ron don't like me saying that too much. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a Jayhawk, and the reason why I say that, I'm gonna keep telling y'all people. Y'all keep sleeping on my man Abachi. That's the young Jimmy Butler on his way to this league. Keep sleeping on him. Big 12 Player of the Year, Final Four MVP, and a champion. And that's why Grimes left Kansas. Because of that man. He knew that man was getting ready to take that playing time. So let me go over here to Houston. Let me get up out of here. But y'all keep sleeping on Abachi, man.
I'm gonna tell you, I like Grimes, Boogie. I like it.
Yeah, they was that. Ron, they was at Kansas at the same time. Came in the same time.
Yeah.
There was a backcourt.
Yeah.
Think about the years. They came in as freshmen, played together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Grimes left, transferred to Houston, played 2 seasons. Agbaji played those 2 seasons at Kansas. Right? The 4th season, Grimes was an NBA rookie. Oka Agbaji was a senior at Kansas. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So to what Jay Boogie was saying is absolutely pitch perfect, right? They the same. They come in at the same time. Grimes had to get out of there because if he wasn't going to play the point, he wasn't going to play. Period.
Right. And then last year he was in the combine. He realized what it was, what he needed to do. He went back. It's nothing wrong when a player go back and he improve his game and to become a player of the conference and an MVP and a champion. That man know how to play basketball, man.
Wait,
I'm
gonna tell you, Grimes was coming to take your boy job, man. He was about to take Evan Fournier's job.
Huh?
Evan Fournier wasn't gonna break that record. If Grimes didn't get injured, he was about to push Fournier to the bench.
Okay.
If you remember, Tom had started doing it.
You talking about like Austin Rivers?
Oh.
Hey, so Parasite, thank you for the contribution. Parasite says Grimes was the 25th pick, and I should use Obi as the example. I understand what you're saying. L Train says, Uncle Freezy, stop comparing Grimes with Kobe. I didn't compare, and see, this is where like people hear certain words and they take stuff and run with it. The comp was not Kobe and Grimes. The comp was the highs and lows. Right? Kobe's highs were Jordan-esque highs. Right? Kobe's lows were due to a lack of experience. Quentin Grimes was never going to be in that echelon of player. That's what I was saying. That's what I'm mentioning. Y'all got to hear and understand what it is that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying that Quentin Grimes is in the Kobe conversation.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm gonna jump off.
How ridiculous is that, bro? We don't want to say that, man. We don't want to say Grimes is Kobe. Nah, we ain't saying that.
So Freezy, where you see Obi numbers next season? What are you looking like? How you think his game is going to be next year?
I think it depends on if you get him a point guard, right? If you go out and get Obi a point guard, I think Obi is Randall type production on better efficiency.
So I'm glad you said that. So knowing what you just
but
said,
let me say the other part though.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't go get him a point guard, he's gonna be lost, right? They probably may be looking at 12 points a game, up and down season, untapped potential. Knicks regretting that they picked Obi, and they may look to trade him, but it's not gonna be Obi's fault. It'll be because you have ball stoppers on the floor
Mhm.
that won't pass the ball around,
Yep.
or the point guard you do get is a selfish score first point guard that doesn't use Obi, and then Obi's talents go to waste.
Talking about Sexton.
So knowing what you know, knowing what you know about Obi and what that man did down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first move as being Leon in that front office with that first pick? What you
And
doing?
thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ron, for bringing up Obi and you defending him the last take. I missed it, but thank you.
Like what their move? Okay, so the move I'm making is not Obi centric, right? The move I'm making is a gravity move. So the Knicks guards, all of them, shot a combined 40% from the floor, right? That's ridiculous. That's atrocious. When your backcourt, all of them, shot 40% from the floor. That means they can't shoot. They can't shoot at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we can say it's because of myriad things. RJ Barrett played out of position. Evan Fournier played too much. Alec Burks played out of position. IQ didn't play enough. Miles McBride didn't play enough. You can say all these things. The fact of the matter is our production was terrible. And our playmaking was terrible. Right?
Everything was hard.
Yeah, so everything was contested. So what I will say is add an elite athlete to the backcourt, whether it's at the 2 or the 3, that draws gravity, that has gravity, so defenders can't solely focus on your best athletes. Because our best athletes right now are in the front court.
Mm-hmm.
Your Nerlens Noel, your Jericho Sims, your Mitchell Robinson, your Obi Toppins, your Cam Reddishes. All of those are front court players, right? We can't even feature them because our backcourt was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, instead of having all peanut butter on one side and a hint of jelly on the other, I want to balance that thing out so that when they come together, it'll make the perfect sandwich.
Yeah, I want to see a big point guard next season, man.
Well,
I don't want to see no 6'1" point guard.
Well, even
on I don't want to see that.
Even on Freezy point,
what about McBride? Sorry, Nice.
I like McBride. I like him. I really do. But the more and more I look at McBride, I think he's going to be he could be a 6-man coming off the bench, not for scoring, but what his impact going to be on that defensive side to disrupt stuff. You know what I mean? But I like him, but I want somebody big at that point guard. I want a dynamic point guard, man. That's what I really want. I want a dynamic point guard who can get it anytime they want. But with that being said, they're really going to look to get others involved, because the only way you're going to win is with a team. Ain't no one player ever won a championship. They always needed a team around them, even the greatest.
There's no iron team, correct.
So I'll say this. It's to me, because everybody has a different way of looking at things. To me, I look at it. It's not the point guard position. It's not playing that much of a factor as much as we think. It's two main things: ball movement and shot selection. If those two things would have been hands down fixed, a point yeah, we all know that we do need a point guard. I'm not saying that we don't need a point guard. We do need a point guard. But the shot selection, we cannot ignore like it never happened. We cannot ignore that there wasn't ball movement, because there wasn't.
Right.
One game we will see it, and 10 other games is like, I can't blame IQ. I can't blame Obi that they want to take the first shot that whenever they receive that ball, because they know that whenever they pass it, most likely it's not going to go back to them.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what else too nice to your point?
Mm-hmm.
What we got to have is basically better decision making. You know what I mean? Because when we look back to them leads that we lost, them games that we was up 20, I think I saw a stat line say in the last 30 or 25 years, the Knicks was the first team to lose 3 games in the month of February by 20-plus points. A lot of them games that we were losing, we got away from doing what we did to get the lead.
Yeah.
And that is a recipe for disaster. Anytime you get one of those big leads like that, a lot of times players start doing stuff, start getting happy, just chucking, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, forgetting what they did to get the lead. And then next thing you know, when the thing shrink,
yeah,
they're done.
Yeah.
Because they start panicking. You know what I mean? So that's the decision making as a team got to get better too.
And the third thing, so we already mentioned about ball movement and shot selection. But number 3, because I keep on hearing all these comparisons about RJ, Jimmy Butler. If there's one thing that I really appreciate from RJ Barrett is that kid, he knows how to get to the line. But it doesn't mean
he know how to hit him, but he know how to get there.
There you go. It doesn't mean nothing if you're not shooting over
75%.
At least
he
needs to be 80 because in the way that in the way that he gets to the shots to the line, man, he should be. I just don't see why he can't get 35 to 40.
But you know what I think it is nice with this free throw shooting is concentration, man. Because if you watch him, sometimes he'll go to that line and he'll take his time, and then other times he'll go to the line and he'll rush.
Yeah,
man, you gotta be. If one thing you know, the very good free throw shooters in the league, them guys have a routine and they stick to it.
Yeah.
Wait, let me ask you a question, Uncle Ron. Uncle Ron and Nice. Let me ask you a question because I love RJ. Imagine if he used to work out with Carmelo Anthony in the offseason.
I don't want Carmelo nowhere near RJ.
Okay. I don't want Carmelo Anthony opening the door for RJ.
If
I don't want Carmelo ordering RJ.
And don't get me wrong, I like Carmelo and I like what he did for his team.
Yeah,
but
his son's gonna be a great player. But this team right here, nah.
Especially
hey,
y'all,
I got about 4 or 5 minutes there before I gotta run. I wanted to ask Ron this. Right, I wanted to, and I only got like 4 or 5 minutes before I gotta get out of here. I gotta take this call to the shop. Right, Ron. So the draft is coming up, right? And in about 4 weeks. And shout out to everybody going to Sim's event in Atlantic City. Yeah, I'm going. I'll be there with a whole bunch of Lawrence Tier stuff. Me and Sim will probably do some collab stuff together. So make sure y'all check out. Go to Nothing But Knicks, the NBK YouTube page. Click on the link, right, and sign up for Sim's event in Atlantic City. We want to make sure we support. You know what I'm saying? The Godfather of this joint, man. Shout out to Sim and the NBK family, right? But Ron, knowing what the team needs are, right? A big man that can stretch the floor, a point guard playmaker to get others involved, depth at the point guard position, because we don't just need one guy. I think we need 2 guys at the point guard position, right? And we get, because if you noticed that we had Kemba and Derrick Rose, and neither one of them finished the season, right? Depth at the point guard position. What happens at 11 when neither of those things are there? What do you do?
If neither of those things are there,
not impact center or a point guard. What do you do?
So you telling me that we didn't win through everybody in the draft and now it's our time?
I'm asking. Yeah,
we sitting at 11.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go for the best player on the board.
Do you entertain trading back?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not trading back. And this is the reason why I ain't trading back, man. We done did enough of that. We got enough picks. We need to start doing something.
Okay.
And trading back to me is all you just accumulating more picks.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anything, coming into that night, they're gonna be done reported the Knicks and somebody done made them. They done made a trade up. I'm calling Portland. I'm calling Indiana, and I'm gonna tell you another team I'm thinking about heavily. I'm calling Dallas. Because Dallas' biggest problem right now, Dallas don't have a bona fide number 2. And as good as Brunson is, he's not a reliable 2. Okay. And what I mean by that, you know where I'm going at. Their power forward position is terrible.
Terrible.
I'm gonna do some kind of 3-team trade. I'm getting Julius Randle to go home to Dallas, and I'm gotta get my hands on DeAndre Ayton. Cause see, when people hear the word stretch 5, they automatically think 3-point line. Right. No, I just need somebody who can stretch away from that paint that can shoot a 15-foot jump shot.
Right.
We don't necessarily every time people hear the word stretch 5, they're thinking, okay, we got to get a 3. That's a 3-point. No,
they think of Porzingis.
Yeah, we don't need that. We just need somebody who can shoot that ain't clogging the lane up, sitting around the basket all day. Okay. You know what I mean? So in that regards, I'm trying to get DeAndre Ayton, and I'm gonna go and get me a point guard. I gotta call OKC because I think they're getting ready to move one of them guys, man. Don't be surprised.
ASJ?
Yeah, don't be surprised if Shea.
Why not just do Randall for D'Angelo Russell? Straight up.
Or even because they don't have a power forward in Minnesota, do they?
No.
To speak of.
And Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle.
That front court would be nasty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nasty. So that would be a good move, man. And even if you can't do a trade for a point guard, man, you can. Hey, at worst, Dennis Schroeder on this team would be better than any point guard we got right now.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose included.
Okay.
Because Derrick Rose can't stay healthy and won't stay healthy.
Right.
So he's X'd up by default to your about earlier. So I'm looking at something like that. But if I can't get SGA in a trade, I'll go and try to find Dennis Schroeder because he ain't gonna command that much money, but you know the production you're gonna get, and he's gonna be available.
I'm gonna offer this up just for some food for thought until so everybody, I won't be able to make it tomorrow because I got my annual physical tomorrow. So y'all know how it is. When you get to a certain age, you got to go to the doctor and do your annual thing, treadmill, heart stuff. They put you on all these machines, get you to take some nasty stuff so they can check your internal organs and all that stuff. I already know what the result is going to be. They're going to say, hey, you lost a few pounds, but you're still fat. I already know what the doctor's going to say, right? I can get my results from Dr. Pepper, right? But anyway. Hey, everybody, listen, I enjoyed the time, man. I appreciate y'all, man. This is like the fastest 2 hours ever, bro. These hours go by so fast on here.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, but thank y'all for coming through, man. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be peaceful, man, and be safe. And I will holler at y'all Friday.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.